Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. You know it. 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I think this is going to be a really good video. I'm already proud. I'm not proud of the video. I'm just starting it right now. But I'm proud of the research and the investigation I did into this and the storyline that I'm going to give you guys right now. I think the best way to present this is probably to give you the timeline. This as I came across the story and the things I found out and the things I put together. Okay, the story is about the Grammys. Sam Smith and Kim Petras, the song "Unholy." It won an award, a Grammy for the best pop duo, I believe. That's not really what this story is about. But they performed. Sam Smith, who I am not really familiar with. When I saw him in this video, I know I've seen him before. I've heard his voice. Kim Petras, not so much. I'm a 57-year-old man in Connecticut who grew up on Led Zeppelin and AC/DC. So, but I like it. I watched the video and everything, and it won an award. Now, they performed this song at the Grammy, okay? And the Christian right loses their minds. Oh my God, there's devil worshiping on TV right now. And then they go as far as to show, the links will be down below for this, on Twitter. I'm not sure if this was Charlie Kirk, Ted Cruz jumped in on this, Charlie Kirk, a few other far-right people. Devil worshiping, oh my God, it's on TV right now. And then they linked it up. They said, Satanism brought to you by Pfizer and Jill Biden. Because apparently Jill Biden was handing out awards at the Grammys, and Pfizer had commercials, bought some commercials during the Grammys. So this turned into this whole scenario, this whole storyline, this whole narrative that the radical left is worshiping Satan and Pfizer and what they make stuff out of, and Jill Biden and QAnon, and oh my God, it's real, it's happening right now on TV. There, look at it. Okay, so it's Sam Smith and Kim Petras performed this song at the Grammys, and to be honest with you, it's a little crazy. The song has it reminds me of The Omen, really. It's got that kind of beat. It's got a scary beat to it. I'll get more into that song the whole song in a second. So it's got Sam Smith bare-chested, wearing a hat with horns on it, all red lighting, fire blowing up in the background, a cage, a woman dancing in a cage. This is an interesting thing. One of these far-right people, I'm not sure, the links will all be down below so you could see for yourself, but one of them said there's dancers with long, straight hair dancing in cages, and they were very specific about long, straight hair. I don't get that. Somebody help me out. Were they thinking of Morticia Adams, from the Addams Family, Cher? I don't know. My mom, being Native American, has had long, straight hair. So I don't know what is so evil about long, straight, dark hair. But anyway, so they're describing this, and they're warning everybody. Oh my God, the radical left right now is on TV. Pfizer, Joe Biden, and it's real. It's happening right now. They're warping your children. Okay. So the first thing that came to my mind was, oh my God, again, really? This has been happening. I'm a child of the 70s, really the 80s, when I really got into rock. Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, and backward masking. This is the first thing that came to mind. And even when there was backward masking, you look back to the 50s and Elvis and what they called black music and the dancing. And there was even people back then that said, oh my God, this is evil. This is harming our children. It's making our children lustful. And then Satan, worship Satan. And that happened in the 50s with rock and roll. It happened again in the late 70s and 80s, and I was witness to this. I remember this is when I was about 14 years old. I just had bought some of my first Zeppelin albums, Van Halen, AC/DC, ZZ Top, you name it. And one of my friends said, hey man, one of our buddies at his house is showing this documentary on Led Zeppelin. Let's go check it out. It was on a Sunday. So we go over there. There's about 5 of us. We all sit down on the couch, and the parents are there, and they're looking all serious. They got the TV, and they got a VCR, which it was one of the very first Betamaxes or something like that. And they put in this 3-hour documentary about backward masking. And I remember I just had enough after about 45 minutes. I said, I gotta, my mom wants me home. I gotta leave, and I walked out. And the parents, these parents were born again Christians, and they were having all the kids in the neighborhood watch this whole thing about, did you hear that? Here, let me replay. And they were actually playing, they had a phonograph there, and they were playing, they show us the clip on the VCR, and then they would have a Led Zeppelin album, and they'd actually play it backwards. And they'd be like, did you hear it? Did you hear it? Did you hear Satan is wonderful? Or, or whatever we were supposed to hear. And me and my friends were just looking at each other and just kind of, yeah, Zeppelin's cool, man. And I ended up taking off, which did not earn me any points. I don't think I could ever, that was the end of me hanging out with this guy. His parents would let me, because I couldn't be saved. And that's what this reminded me of. I was like, Tipper Gore and the parental warnings from the 80s. I mean, Charlie Kirk is one of the people that were screaming about this. And, I'm like, Ted Cruz, and he's got to know better. He's got to know this goes on this is a constant thing. Okay. But then I actually looked into the song, Sam Smith's song, Unholy, and what it's about. It's about this husband going to the body shop. And the body shop's like a strip joint, really. And the wife, he walks his wife into their apartment out of the car, and he kisses her goodbye, and then he goes back to the car and he goes to the body shop, and she finds like a condom with the body shop on it. Oh my! She clutches her pearls. Not my husband. And the words to the song go along with this. Sam Smith sings about you dirty guy. You don't know how to keep your business clean. And he's calling out infidelity. He's calling out the guys that lie to their significant other and end up at these shows, these strip shows and whatnot. And there's a lot of these guys, and he's kind of mocking them. He's kind of calling them out. You don't know how to keep your business clean. And then Kim Petras does this. She sings her part where she's the other woman. And she's looking at the man as her sugar daddy. She's using him as he's lying to his wife, kind of thing. And then I watched the video. The links will all be down below. And I don't know if Sam Smith, I don't know what his orientation is, but I started looking at some of the dancers in this video, and it's obvious a lot of them are female impersonators. So I think some of them are women, some are men. They're dressed as women. And this reminded me of when I used to deliver to adult bookstores back in the 90s. I worked for a company out of New York City that delivered magazines. And every day I would deliver adult magazines to adult bookstores. And there were video arcades in the back with what they call G-holes. I'll just call them that for now. And so every day I would have my hand truck. I'd open up the back of the truck. I'd put the bundles of magazines on. I'd wheel them in. I'd go to maybe 5-6 adult bookstores all over Connecticut, New York, Westchester County, the Hudson Valley. And I'd wheel them in. And I'd go through the whole bookstore because they'd inevitably go to the back of the store. And I'd leave the bundles there. And then I'd have the shop owner count them and sign off for them. And I saw the guys that used to go there. And these guys looked just like this guy in this video. They were straight. I seen their wedding rings. They're dressed in a business suit or whatever. And they're back there cruising in these backroom arcades. And I can't even tell you guys the times. When I bring back my hand truck to the truck, I go back to get the paperwork. And these guys mistake me for one of the crew, one of the guys cruising in the back, and they're winking at me, and you see this guy's wedding ring. This guy just dropped all his kids off at school, kissed his wife goodbye, and now he's in an adult arcade. And this happened every single time I went to these adult bookstores. And I started, it wasn't gay people that I had a problem with. It's these hypocrites, these people that are leading this double life. They're working they're good, honest Republicans and whatnot, and they're ending up in the back arcade rooms with these G-holes cruising for other guys in these adult bookstores. I saw this every day. So I watched this video, and the next thing that came to mind was I read the down below. There'll be a link to the meaning of this song, and it's about the villain era, I think Sam Smith calls it. And he's talking about what he was talking about. It reminds me exactly of Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels. This is exactly like Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels. I read Stormy Daniels' book. If you don't know, Donald Trump stepped out on the wife, had a little interlude with Stormy Daniels for money. Stormy Daniels was an adult performer, and it mirrors Sam Smith's Unholy. It mirrors the whole lyrics, the song title. It's exactly what he's talking about. And then Stormy Daniels kind of using Donald Trump, for money, making money off the book in the end, giving details on his little winky and all that. And, and then I think of the irony, the whole irony of this. We have Ted Cruz, a supporter of Donald Trump, oh my God, there's Joe Biden and Pfizer, and they're worshiping Satan. When actually, if you look at the song and you read what the song's about and the words and the video, you realize it's more about Donald Trump than it's about anything. It's about the guy that they worship and kind of their thing, their whole hypocrisy. Anyway, it's amazing. And this has been going on for years. It went on in the 80s with Led Zeppelin and backward masking. It went on in the 50s with rock and roll and all that. And it'll happen again in 2030 or whatever, with whatever comes along then. People will be wringing their hands. Oh my God, the children! Won't somebody think of the children? And they'll be sitting down, kids, like I sat down in front of whatever the video media is then, to warn the kids. Anyway, check it out. Check out the video links down below. It's hilarious. You guys have a good Tuesday.